Recruiter here to review your resumes. The resume we have up first is a garbage machine learning engineer resume. Now, I know it's garbage because they have said, I have been trying through job portals like LinkedIn, Indeed, and Dice, and I have not landed a single interview, not even gotten the first steps of the job round. So basically, this person has been applying for, it looks like almost a year and has not gotten a single interview. So this is a terrible resume. But I want to let everybody know I do more than tech, but right now tech is in the dumpster, so like 90% of the resumes sent to me are tech. But what do we need for a machine learning engineer, which I probably will not be able to find in this resume? Well, we need degree, machine learning, ML, cloud, CI/CD, Databricks, Git, SQL, Python, or Java or C#, .NET, cross-functional and communicate technical details to non-technical people. This is huge. Just because you're going to be one of the smartest people in the room means you're probably going to be dealing with people that are not the smartest people in the room, and you have to explain what you've done to those people that cannot turn on a computer. ML frameworks like TensorFlow, PyTorch, SkibbityLearn, Pandas, and NumPy. There are more of those, but those are just some of the most common ones. The scale of the systems that you have built that is non-technical. Again, I do not want to see that you increased a hyperflop from a foop-fop to a 200%, but I do want to see that you add 300,000 users in a month. Right? That is a non-technical scale that I want to see. And then training, tuning, and deploying models in production environments from 0 to 1. I need to find 75% of those in 20 seconds. If I cannot, your resume gets yeeted and deleted. But considering the fact that almost everybody has been yeeting and deleting this resume, I'm imagining I cannot find any of those since you've not had a single interview in almost a year. So let's start the clock and go. Can't use anything here. This doesn't count. Okay. Where's your degree? All the way at the bottom. Okay. Develop Python REST API microservices for AI extraction using Claude processing 120 documents. This doesn't matter. Design LLM architecture for doesn't matter. Irrelevant. And time. Cool. This is why you're having problems, as I was not able to find anything I needed. So, first off, Lee, what are you talking about? They had everything you needed in the skills section. Here's Python, here's SQL, here's REST API. Well, sadly, skill sections don't count because recruiters are not keyword hunting. Recruiters are qualification hunting. And the difference between a keyword and a qualification is massive. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that engineers make is they fill their resume with keywords, but do not fill their resume with qualifications. So what is a keyword first off? Well, a keyword is what the hiring team needs. That's it. This could be your degree. It could be machine learning. It should be cloud. It could be CI/CD. It could be Databricks. Any of this is a keyword. This is what the hiring team needs you to have. But a qualification is a keyword plus how you used it, plus where you used it, plus the non-technical reasons that you used it. And if you do not tell me the what, the how, the non-technical why, and where, it does not count on your resume. So thus, even though this person had technically everything in those keywords, we are not looking for keywords, we are looking for qualifications. So this entire section might as well have been blank. Also, this formatting is not the worst, but it could be better, all right? Normally, I'm very particular about formatting, but this is not a formatting issue. But if you want your resume's format to be perfect, use this format. It's in the link below. It's mine. This is how you do it. Yes, it's boring and basic. That is a feature. That is not a bug. You want it to be boring. So then we go down to the real problem, and your first sentence is kind of okay. Developed Python-based REST microservices for a healthcare AI document extraction. Right? So we have Python, RESTful API, and healthcare, but you didn't tell me the non-technical reasons. Why does it matter that it processed 100 to 200 page documents implementing authentication, testing, scalable service design? It doesn't. That's a hot dog. That is a hot dog. Whoop, not all of that is a hot dog. This is a hot dog, which is not what I need. Then design LLM solution architecture and evaluation frameworks defining metrics for extraction accuracy, quality, contributing to a 15% improvement plan and adoption. Hot dog. Built retrieval using Claude for SAP workflow. Hot dog. So I want you to imagine that you're hungry. You go to a restaurant and you're like, I'd like a hamburger. with nothing else on it. And the waiter says, hamburger, that's it? You say, yep, just a plain hamburger. So the waiter comes back and says, all right, here is your plain hamburger. And it is a hot dog with ketchup on it. And you're like, excuse me, I didn't want this. I wanted a hamburger. This is a hot dog with ketchup. And they say, no, 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 no. A hot dog has meat just like a hamburger. A hot dog has buns just like a hamburger. A hot dog can have ketchup. And a lot of people like ketchup, so I put it on just like a hamburger. So when you wanted a plain hamburger, what you actually wanted was this hot dog with ketchup. You would look at that like they were crazy because they're gaslighting you, and you would leave without paying because that is not what you ordered. And that is the exact same problem here, is if it's not one of these things, it's a hot dog. Processing 120 pages, hot dog. Design LLM solution architecture and evaluation framework, hot dog. Built retrieval and extraction pipelines using Claude, hot dog. Collaborate with other engineers to improve system reliability, root cause, and translate requirements into scalable AI systems. That could be describing technical details to non-technical people, but I'm honestly going to say that's more of a hot dog than a hamburger. I think that's close, though. This doesn't really show that you can talk to non-technical people as much. Implemented CI/CD pipelines using GitHub Actions, Docker, GCP. This part's a hot dog. This is a hot dog. Reducing manual processing efforts, hot dog. Why does it matter? I don't know. You didn't tell me. So this is why you're struggling. And this, again, this is not just me. This is not like I say this is bad. It's every single person is declining this person's resume. Not a single person has given them an interview in a year. And this is why, is that they filled their resume with hot dogs. They filled their resume with stuff that does not tell me what they did, how they did it, and the non-technical reason. You know what a better sentence would be? In fact, here's something. They're trying to be a machine learning engineer. Where's the machine learning? But Lee, Claude implies no. You cannot imply anything. You have to state. But it implies no implications. Statements only. So I don't see a single bit of machine learning here. And this is an entire resume built for machine learning. There's no even ML, right? Again, the job title doesn't count. So, no, that was wrong, but there we go. ML. So, in a machine learning engineer resume, you do not mention machine learning in the bullet points once. And that is why you're failing, because no one's going to hire a machine learning engineer if they don't do this. And I'm going to tell you a story. All right? I was working with a manager who is highly technical. And they are a good manager. People wanted to work with them. This person rarely ever had people leave their team. And this manager was like, Lee, I need a data lake engineer. And I said, alrighty. So I went to search for a data lake engineer. And I said, Mr. Manager, here are, and I'm going to call them Bob. So Bob, here are 3 candidates for your data lake engineer position. And the manager said, well, Lee, I mean, they look like they have nice stuff, but not a single one of them stated data lake experience. And if data lake was important, they would have put it on their resume. And I said, now hold on a minute, Bob. Let me go back and double check with them. The manager was good. This is why they're a good person. They said, okay, I'm going to trust you as my recruiter, which is good. You want to be able to trust your recruiter. And tell me what. So I went back to those candidates and I asked them. First candidate didn't actually have any data lake experience. The manager was correct. The other candidate had 3.5 years of data lake experience, and the third one had 5 years experience. And of the 2 candidates that had 3.5 to 5 years experience, I got one of them hired for that job, when the technical manager that everybody loved working for would have rejected them because they did not have data lake experience. So if that is not a one-off in the market, you need to be specific. So this person does not mention machine learning. Yeah, no wonder they're not getting machine learning jobs. People think they're not a machine learning engineer because the title is less important than the bullet points. So I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to need you to make bullet points that have this. Show me how you did it, the non-technical reasons you did it, how you did it. And I'm going to need you to actually put in machine learning because people don't even think you're a machine learning engineer. And again, that was a highly technical manager because the lingo changes. So you cannot not have machine learning. You need to have machine learning as a machine learning engineer. That should be at least once per job saying machine learning. So this is why you are struggling to get interviews. And we're in a recession, let's face it. But that is all I can do for this resume. Before we go to the next one, I just want to say And I want to give a quick shout out to all of the people that are members of my channel. Thank you very much for supporting this channel. You can be a member if you want to join in the link below. They get access to videos a little bit early, but I just want to say thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it. I couldn't do this without y'all, so thank you very much. And if anybody ever needs their resume reviewed, come on my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter or right here on YouTube. That is where I pick the resumes to review. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a full stack software developer. So what do we need in a full stack software developer? We need degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, RESTful APIs or REST APIs, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, SQL, any, Cloud, any, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, backend, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, React, React.js, Angular, Node.js, Vue.js, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, you need it. I don't care how basic it is. I don't care if everybody knows it. I don't care if you think it's not important. Almost every single job description is asking for TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. So you need to have it on your resume. If you do not, you are in for a bad time. DevOps, CI/CD, Agile, Git, and extra credit for large-scale AI tools and cross-functional. So this person says, I've been working in software dev for more than 3 years. I'm looking for a job as a full-stack developer. Through my resume, I want to demonstrate that I've worked with various languages and understand the fundamentals. That's not what a resume is for, because I've seen many job postings looking for backend developers with experience in Rust and Go. Then you need a separate resume for those. You need a separate resume for each of those. I've recently started apply through this resume. All right, so 20 seconds on the clock. Let's see what we need and what we can find, and go. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Architect delivered end-to-end systems using Python. Good. Hot dog. REST APIs. Scalable technical designs. Why is that important? I don't know. RESTful APIs, which you already mentioned. So hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, and time. There you go. That's it. That's all the time I got with this because the formatting is so awful. This is horrible formatting. Do not use it. This is why it's important to have this formatting, is so that you can go further in the resume. That is why it is ugly and basic, is so that you can go farther. So my problem with this resume is just that I couldn't go farther in, and you don't really tell me the non-technical reasons. Why do I care that you catch 24 hours TTL? Have you ever seen a job description that explicitly states you need to catch 24-hour TTL? No. Have you ever seen a job that says, see, these are not the non-technical wise anyway, you just don't even tell me here, that you need to handle 10K documents per month? No. You will never find that. You know what I don't see here? I don't see TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. This, even for a Python dev, this is not what I would want. Do I see Python? Yes. Do I see RESTful APIs? Yes. SQL? Yes. And AWS and Docker? Yes. Good. The rest of this I don't have, and it's filled with hot dogs. Oh, here. I actually miss CI/CD and GitHub Actions because this resume's formatting is so awful. So I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing board, and I'm going to need you to have better bullet points that tell me the non-technical reasons, because these are not the non-technical reasons. These are incredibly technically in-depth, and people are going to look at them and be like, meh, declined. And is that fair? No, obviously it's not. But if the world was fair, there would be no wars and all of us would be super rich. So the world sucks and it's not fair, but this is how you need to make your resume. So I need you to delete this and start again, because there are like one sentences I kind of like, but even then, no. Like, I don't think I've even ever seen a job description that says containerized and deployed. Like, none of them say that. Like, you need to go to the job descriptions that you're looking for and find 15 of those, tailor your resume to those 15 job titles, and mass apply. That is where I get these, because I'm just missing about 50% of this stuff, and it doesn't matter how impressive or how much you demonstrate mastery. It just matters that you've done it. And this shows that you haven't done it. So go back to the drawing board, make your sentences about these and only these, at least in the US, and mostly outside the US as well. Because I've gotten people jobs in the US, the UK, the EU, Africa, India, Canada, Mexico, and I think Singapore. It was some place in there. I don't remember if it was like Singapore, Thailand, or something. I know those are different, but I don't remember which one. So this resume just does not work because it's too technical and it doesn't have enough technical details all at the same time. Next resume. This is a resume of a C#.NET software engineer. So we need .NET, C# SQL, any of the clouds, although you have to mention the actual specific cloud. You can't just say cloud. You have to say Azure or AWS or GCP. Git, Agile, RESTful APIs, CI/CDs, front end. Weirdly enough, a lot of C#.NET devs want front end. So JavaScript, HTML, CSS, ASP.NET, I've seen a bunch. And nice to have is DevOps, RabbitMQ, and cross-functional. So let's see what I can find in 20 seconds. What is this one? Let me look at what they say first. I should read the thing. Laid off, looking to switch from larval to a more generalized role. Ideally would break into embedded, but I don't have any relevant experience for that. RTOS is like one of the big things for embedded, and embedded is very hot. So as long as you're able to get like RTOS, you're good for embedded. But let's see what we can find in this resume. So 20 seconds and go. This doesn't matter. Reduce query. Why do I care about that? This doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You already mentioned SQL. Doesn't matter. This might matter. You mentioned larval so much. Time. That's all the time I get. I don't know what this resume is. And I think that's my main problem here is I just don't know what this is. Larval, there's just not a lot of jobs. I mean, like, technically you could be a larval engineer, but I just don't see it. And I know you're trying to get away from it, but like, if you're trying to get away from something, you probably don't want to put it a lot in your resume. Like maybe one larval would be okay, which I'm probably mispronouncing. Is it larval? No, it's laravel. Laravel. Is that how you pronounce that? I don't know how to pronounce that. But like the problem is most of this is just filled with hot dogs. Like, and you have the core of what I actually like. Like, you know, I want RESTful APIs. I want SQL. I want C#.NET and Java. And I maybe want a little Angular, but I don't see the rest of it. So, like, most of this is just not important. Like, I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing board on this and give me, like, stuff that I could use, because there's also nothing here. Like, this entire part is blank. Blank, blank, blank. You know, no, the interest section is fine. They have an interest section at the end. I actually am I actually think it's a good idea to put an interest section. I don't think it's a bad idea to put it at the very bottom of your resume, because this person said they like hiking, barbecuing, whatever Neo Vim is. I have no idea what that is. I've never heard of that. Board games, welding, and metalworking. And that's actually, if you meet a manager who likes barbecuing and whatever Neo Vim is, which I'm going to ask you in chat afterwards, they will start up a conversation, and that can actually set up a connection between you and the manager and give you a better shot. But to do that is, I need this to be focused on what I need. And I don't see this for a C#.NET dev. My biggest problem with this is nothing. Like, there's just nothing here. I need more. I need to know more than just RESTful and C#. I need to know a little bit more. Like, if I wanted Python, I'd want Docker. If I want C#, I want ASP.NET and a little bit of front end. If I wanted full stack, I need TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. This is like the bare bones of what a software engineer could be, but nothing of the specific stack that I need to move forward. So, especially because you mentioned C#.NET for a C#.NET dev in the 4th line. So be specific, tailor it to the job title, and then we can try again. But I just don't see what you are. And if I cannot find what you are and I do not know what it is, then I'm going to be forced to reject you. Next resume. This is a resume of a full stack software developer, and it's a successful one. This person said, I started getting some luck with this resume. Usually my clearance lets me interviews, but I'm getting more interviews with this format. I have a 2-year gap where I worked another job and went to school. Thought of padding that 2-year gap with school. Yeah, school is actually a good way to do that, but this is getting them more interviews than their previous resume. So this is a successful resume. It's getting them, I think, a 1 in 25, which is good. So this is the success of my format. So I'm going to be extra critical of this because it is a success. So let's see what we've got. So 20 seconds is on the clock. Boop. And go. Degree. Okay. Security clearance. Good. Prove the IRS tax child using Next.js, JavaScript, HTML, CSS to create form banners and just testing. Okay. Added multi-language support using Next.js to translate JSON payloads for non-English speaking users. Implemented backups using files to Azure databases in case of corruption. Okay. Good files. This is a bad one. And time. That had almost everything I need. Stupid chair. This is why this was a successful resume. This had almost every single thing I needed. I really liked it. So the only thing, there's a couple of things I will say, and again, I'm being very critical, but this does pass. One, again, I would like TypeScript, but you may not actually have TypeScript. So I would prefer you to move. Oh man, you have AWS and Azure. I would prefer you to remove the jest and replace that with AWS and Azure. Because if you can have improve the IRS child tax credit portal using Next.js, JavaScript, HTML, CSS in AWS and Azure environment due to new demand for family dependence information, that would look really good because you can immediately put AWS and GCP there. Or AWS and Azure. I don't know why I said GCP. And then here, that would be good. And then multi-language support of Node.js, good. Express, probably don't care. RESTful APIs, I do. JSON, I don't really care, but I do like the reason. So then you can add another thing here because this only really has 2 keywords. And again, I'm being nitpicky. This does pass. Implemented, and then if you remove the AWS and put it up in the first one, then we only have SQL. And what you can do is you can combine these because I actually like the stuff you said here, but you didn't tell me the reason. So you could be like, implement it. Let's see. You could be like used IRS wireframes, get CI/CD and in an SDLC to implement backups using SQL for database failures or something like that. Participate in Agile, and then again, you could probably move this to one of the others as well. Like I think the last 3 bullet points can be combined. And then this is really good. I like this. These are good. Don't have any problems with it. So yeah, overall, this is good resume. Just some minor quibbles I have, but those are, you're still getting interviews with it. You make those and you will probably get a little bit more interviews. I will say with a 2-year gap, you're probably never going to get a 1 in 7, but 1 in 25, which you are getting, is very doable. What is your ratio right now? Do we have a ratio for this one? I don't know if we actually do or not. If so, I will tell you all in the next resume, which we're about to go to. And yeah, we're going to it right now. This is a resume of a full stack software developer. So we already know what this person needs. Also, the previous resume got a 1 in 25 ratio. So with a gap, a 1 in 25 ratio is really good. This person is remade their resume using my format. Although they haven't applied to a ton of roles, they have had some success. So I don't know their new ratio with this one, but they have had success with this one. So that's actually a plus. So this is a successful resume as well. But again, with successful resumes, I'm going to be very, very picky about it. So let's see what we can and cannot find in 20 seconds. And go. Okay, degree. I don't need to know this part. Architect a website using TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, React, CSS. Good. And user that can use RA to find employment. Perfect. Developed a multi-vendor SaaS return using Node.js Next.js Core. Architecture, designing schemas, infrastructure. Okay. And mentored a junior developer through Git and CI/CD. Okay, good. Built RESTful. Okay. Couple of things. A, it's good. Again, I don't think there's anything I need to change in the first sentence. I think this is about as good as we're gonna get it. This is great. So perfect. And then here, I want us to shrink this a little bit. Do we need to say multi-vendor? Maybe in your industry we do, but I'm gonna say we can probably just say developed a SaaS, comma, RESTful API using Node and Nest. So here, I'd rather this written used RESTful APIs, Node, Nest, SQL, to create a AWS infrastructure for our multi-vendor SaaS program. I'd rather you rewrite it like that. So it would be used RESTful APIs, Node.js, Next.js, SQL in an to create AWS infrastructure for our SaaS product, so companies could do whatever it is they want to do. So that's the only thing I want. And then here, Git should be capitalized. You did not capitalize Git, so they might not see it. And I would like one extra keyword here if you can get it, which is there any I'm missing? I am missing Agile. I'm missing Agile. I'm missing DevOps. I'm missing React. If you can put React. No, you have React up there. So yeah, those are the only things I'm kind of missing. And then I wanted to put there. But otherwise, this is good. And there's a limit to how much more we can do with this. But yeah, you don't need to tell me that when you graduated, if it's over 3 years ago, you just need to tell me that you graduated. So that's all we need. But overall, this is a good resume and it should be getting stuff. And it is. It's getting more things. So that's really good. But that's all I can do for this resume. And I know that was really quick, but no, it was good. Good resumes are usually pretty quick. They have everything you need. I go, okay, cool. And then we move them forward. And that's actually about what it is in real life, is when you're reviewing resumes, we don't spend hours on them. Even if we like them, we'd be like, oh, good, move forward. That's it. So that's all for this resume, and that's all for this video. I just want to thank you all for, watching. Thank you very much. And to all of my members, thank you very much again. You get access to videos a little bit early. If anybody wants to join and be a member, they can join in the link below. But thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it. It helps me a lot. So thank you. And to everybody else, if they want their resume reviewed, or by members as well, be sure to log on and join me during my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter and here on YouTube, as that is where I review these resumes. But that is it for me, and I will see you in the next video. Later. Bye.